Hello, hello everyone. I am RoboScout, and I am here commentating the Metroid Prime Randomizer weekly race. This week between Interslice and Forsaken Angel. Um, Metroid Prime Randomizer, for those who don't know, basically we're taking the game Metroid Prime, and we are changing where all the items are. So the runners now have to find all the items in different locations. And because it is an even week, we have also decided to randomize the elevators. So all of the elevators that formerly lead to one place will now lead to a different place. Very exciting. So there are other runners in this race. Unfortunately, not all of them are capable of streaming right now, and it has been a bit spotty for some of them. But there are multiple runners in addition to Interslice and Forsaken Angel. I believe Weakest Link is also running. But race should be starting soon. Yeah. We're having a bit of minor technical issues on my end, so if I am also the only commentator, so if my commentary ever seems a bit sparse in some places, yeah, no. Yeah, that's why. Looks like we're having a bit of technical issues, so it's going to be a bit until we get stuff started. I have to manage everything myself because I don't have any other fellow co-commentators, but yes. Yes. Yeah, we're having some audio issues right now, just trying to figure out and we're just trying to figure this out, but once they're there, we should be ready to get started. Right. Yeah, hello emblem in the chat. So, mostly just dealing with audio issues right now. Oh, alright, never mind. Looks like commentary is starting. And we've got audio ready on the street. So it's countdown starting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And the races should be off soon. Going off chat, so things might be a bit delayed. Looks like we're just dealing with stream delays right now. But I have declared it in the chat that the races are supposed to be starting right now. Yep. I'm guessing both of the runners just must have a delay on their stream. That's probably why. Because I'm not seeing anything in the internal chat. Alright, yep. We've got the runners going right now. So. Alright, so. Despite the fact that we have random starting locations, it looks like we... Oh wait, never mind, we don't have random starting locations. We haven't implemented those rules yet. But first thing you're going to be seeing is our runners doing a trick known as space jump first. It uses a pretty basic technique called a scan dash, which is used pretty much everywhere in the run, and they will use it to basically dash off a scan point and get to a ledge that you are normally not supposed to get until much later in the game. Normally in the vanilla game, this contains scan visor, but right here it looks like it just contains a missile, and looks like the item right below the landing site, that was plasma beam, which it could be very helpful. Yeah, and it looks like both of our runners are pretty much doing the exact same thing right now. They went to check the alcove, and now it looks like they're just going straight to Artifact Temple to get their hints, because in Randomizer, the artifacts are shuffled too, not just the items. So knowing where the artifacts are is very helpful. Here is the community's favorite door. It's basically every door from Prime 3, but you know what? We didn't talk about that too often. So, Slice looks like he's just about to get hints, and he gets Space Jump right there. Space Jump is very powerful in this seed. And Slice is not checking hints? Okay. Alright, Forsaken Angel's getting hints, but looks like Inner Slice didn't check them. That's a bold move. Sorry about that. I've been having a bit of allergies right there, so my from Draw Canyon, Free Crash Site, Main Plaza, Transport Tunnel B, Crossway, and Quarantine Cave. We've got Thardus in play, boys. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Forsaken's stream is not looking too good right now. Yeah, and it's even worse on my end. The restream quality that I'm commentating over on is not high, so if I ever miss an item or don't see what an item is correctly, that's because the restream is very grainy. It can be very difficult for me to see, especially when Forsaken Angel stream looks like it does right now. So that's why. I also can't really look at the Twitch chat and the restream at the same time. So if I ever take a while to respond to comments, that's why. And if I ever seem a few seconds behind, it's because I'm looking at comments. Looks like Inner Slice remembered that he did not check hints and is going to check them right now. He is in for a good thing he did, otherwise he would have missed our friend the Angry Rocks. Forsaken Angel is doing a trick called Root Cave Dash. It's another dash, much like the Space Jump First, but this one is actually using an enemy to lock onto instead of a scan point, and he finds Variasuit at the top of the cave. Variasuit is not as important in Randomizer as it is in Vanilla, as early Magmore is not as big of a block as it is in Vanilla, but it can still be very important, and it's always just important to have extra health. I'm going to switch the commentary to Forsaken Angel since he seems to be ahead for now. Should take a while for it to show up. There we go. Yeah. So, right now, unfortunately, I think I missed what the elevator at the bottom of Root Cave was, but because this is random elevators, they can go pretty much anywhere, and since he did not go down it, I'm assuming it was not anything important. Yeah. I know what the item is down there about the elevator location. Looks like he has declared this elevator important, and so he is heading up it. Looks like standard early Chozo start. Unfortunately, I probably should have known this. Because we don't have any tricks enabled, it means that and we're guaranteed to start in landing plaza. That means that one of the that elevator is always guaranteed to go to main chozo, since it's the only elevator that has a 0 item check. That being Hive Totem. It's the only item in the game that the game assumes you can and get without any other items. Now, as speedrunners, we disagree, but still, it's still very important to pay attention to the routing, especially since, because due to the way the logic works, your first item is pretty much always guaranteed. The first item the game expects you to get is guaranteed to be on Hive Totem. But because our runners are good, they can circumvent the routing a little bit. However, it doesn't mean it's not a good idea to go check Hive Totem. Even if it doesn't have anything, it still has quite a few items on its way, and it's pretty much always worth it to go through this area of the game. And Forsaken Angel has acquired Morph Ball. Always good to see early on. Especially right here, because that means you can go check the tunnels immediately. Oh, and it looks like Inner Slice is attempting out of bounds without Morph Ball. That is an interesting play. Because it's very easy to soft lock yourself if you don't have Morph Ball. And oh, it looks like he fell. That's gotta hurt. Is he gonna go for it again? Or no, looks like he's given up. Fair play. It was worth a shot. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone is physically capable of seeing what was in the vault right there, just to how grainy the stream is. But Forsaken Angel grabbing an artifact on the main plaza ledge, and it looks like he is heading over to Ruined Shrine, which is normally where Morph Ball is, but since he already has that, he can do at least some of the checks in here. I think that's... Oh, Power Bombs. That could be good. Due to the way Prime 1 works, you don't actually have to have the main Power Bombs item to use Power Bombs. You only need to have a Power Bomb, so an expansion works. And it looks like he just got 2 expansions, so he has access to Power Bombs early on in this seed. And one of the few tricks we do have enabled is that we allow you to open... never mind then, about all the stuff I was going to say about using Power Bombs to do stuff that you would normally main bombs for was kind of unnecessary, because he just got main bombs. So, Forsaken Angel is looking like he's got quite a few items right here. Oh! Oh, never mind. Looks like he's not going back for, some early talent cleanup just yet. I imagine just because he knows, oh, looks like he's going for, early Chozo cleanup since he now has bombs. Always good. So, which is always good. Hello, Link Boyism. Forsaken Angel doing all this work and getting his very well-deserved missile after all this. Welcome to Prime Randomizer, how can we help you? Fortunately, Inner Slice seems like he's pretty far behind due to that incident with the hints. But, I mean, this is Randomizer. Anything can happen. And I mean anything. I have seen a race where a guy had to who got soft lock once and died another time, and he still ended up winning the race. It is far too early to say anything definite. Having space jump so early on is definitely going to speed this race up for both the runners, because space jump as an item it opens up so many options, not just for getting additional height, but also additional movement opportunities. You can move. It substantially speeds up your speed of movement throughout the world, and just lets you optionally skip certain platforms that would normally be required. And there's also it allows for additional dashes and all sorts of tricks, so space jump is really good. Looks like Sagan is going to do quite a nice slope jump to... Ooh, looks like he got the hard part, but he failed on the second one. He's attempting to do some checks to skip climbing up all the way around this room, but fortunately doesn't look like it's going too well for him right now. Hey, looks like he got it. Ooh, and that's Grapple Beam. Because our runners are very skilled with some technical tricks in the game, Grapple Beam is never technically required for any of our runners, but it still definitely helps out and can skip doing some annoying tricks. Like Root Cave Dash is a pretty good example of something that normally requires Grapple Beam, but because our runners have a lot of practice, they don't really need it anymore. However, the game does assume you need Grapple Beam to do these things, so even if these items aren't used, they can still give some pretty good intel on where the runners should go next and where the seed expects them to go next. And Forsaken Angel is playing things a bit down to the wire. He only has 10 health. 30 now, but that is quite a risky play. And here, upcoming is the one item that is actually not randomized in any way, and that's Charge Beam. This is mostly just because Charge Beam has very few checks that require it, that hard require it, but it also... The game is not designed with you not having Charge Beam, and Forsaken Angel just got Ice Beam from there, which is always good to have, especially in random elevators where something like half the elevators in the game are locked behind Ice Beam, so finding Ice Beam early on is always a good thing. And because I believe they know where Plasma Beam is in landing site, that means that 2 out of the 3 beams are currently on the board. Which, Wave Beam's still a mystery, but this is still looking to be a pretty open seed so far. We've got Space Jump early, we've got Ice Beam Plasma early. This is so far looking pretty good. It's going to be there's going to be certainly going to be some interesting grounding decisions, debating where do the runners go next after this. And Forsaken Angel looks like he's going to go check out Zoid. Or Incinerator Drone, but I mean, we all know his proper name is Zoid. For those who don't know, Zoid is actually a nickname of one of the lead programmers in Prime 1, and he was the one who primarily developed Incinerator Drone, which is quite fondly remembered by much of the speedrunning community, so it has been named after him. So, the primary gimmick of the Incinerator Drone fight is that it's RNG. You can only hurt it when its head pops up, and when its head pops up is RNG. So, this boss fight can lose you a bit of time through no fault of your own. Around the average time to finish is right when the boss music loops. And before you can just lose 10 or 20 seconds because of RNG. And Forsaken Angel has just acquired a nothing item. For those who don't know, due to some technical limits of the randomizer, every slot has to be filled even if there isn't even if we don't have enough items to fill. So we add in these nothing items to fill those empty slots that we remove. There are empty slots because we are only playing with 6 artifacts as a community standard, and because of that, just some items, there are some slots that end up empty, and because of that, they are filled with nothing items. They do precisely nothing, or approximately nothing, or they could do something very important that we're not telling you about. I'll leave it all for you to figure out. Unfortunately, Forsaken is looking like he is getting not good. He did not get a good Zoid, which is unfortunate, but this is Randomizer. Anything can change. And it looks like Slice has been doing a pretty good job catching up to him. Looks like he is just about to enter Zoid right about now. So, and to our tracker, it looks like you are missing Interslice with Charge Beam, just so you know. Forsaken Angel is just doing some pretty standard energy hold gameplay at this point. Nothing really exciting going on. Ooh, and it looks like Interslice is electing to skip Zoid, which is a very interesting play that it looks like might be the right decision at this point. As Forsaken Angel found a nothing and a missile on him, I believe. So at this point, the two are basically neck and neck, which is certainly an interesting play. Now, of course, Interslice is going to have a little nagging feeling in the back of his head for the entire seed, wondering if Zoid had anything important on him, and we might see him come back to do it later. But, at least for now, that seems to have been a good decision. But, he doesn't know that was a good decision. It's always easy to make decisions when you have a view of both runners. And it looks like Forsaken Angel is going to climb the Furnace Spiderball track, which is another one of the very few tricks that we actually have in logic for this seed. The devs, in their brilliance, set this Spiderball track to an 89-degree angle instead of a 90-degree angle, which we all know is clearly enough for us to walk on. So therefore, we're going to walk on it, as we do as speedrunners. And our runners are neck and neck right now, which is not something I thought I would do. Both of them are taking very similar rounding decisions, aside from Interslice's decision to skip Zoid. So this is certainly turning out to be a pretty, very close race so far. Well, looks like Interslice had a bit better luck with the Chozo Ghost, but nothing major. Here is another trick that is actually in logic. Again, if you can see it, we'll stand on it. And because of that, we just use it to... it's another trick that you can use to skip Spiderball. There are quite a few tricks used to skip Spiderball. Many of them are developed by any percent runners who I think just really hate Thardus. I feel like half the skips in this game are Spiderball just because 90% runners really hate Thardus. Unfortunately, our runners will have to do Thardus in this seed. But they still get the knowledge from decades of abuse by the hands of rocks. That is true, Gulp. Morph Ball bombs were locked behind Boost Ball, and that does mean that Boost Ball is technically somewhere that our runners did not check at this point. So we know Boost Ball is somewhere early, and the game assumes they have access to it. Slice, and because our running Air Slice is about to do a pretty fancy jump to get the artifact and crossway right here, which is always a good decision because otherwise you would need both boost ball and super missiles, and super missiles are they can be anywhere. So Slice, it looks like, is going to grab his artifact and is going to leave the area because he doesn't have wave beam and cannot continue further into Chozo. It seems like Interslice is in the lead at this point. I think I am going to go switch the audio to his side. Oh, and it looks like Interslice is about to go do Zoid. Unfortunate. And just like that, I think Forsaken Angel is back in the lead. I'm not gonna switch the audio back just yet, so you all get to enjoy your wonderful dose of Zoid music today. And he is now probably regretting his decision. Now, I think the real big question is, where does Forsaken Angel go next? Don't think he has too many options. He could go back to clear out Talon, which could be a good idea considering he knows Plasma Beam is there. Could go for the elevator behind Hive Mecha. So he has lots of options right now, or he could go do Magma Pool. Because which actually isn't that big of a risk, since he has Grapple Beam, Varia, and Plasma Beam, which, because I'm used to, you don't always get all of those items so early on in the seed, so there is a very difficult dash, and it looks like he got Spider Ball from that, which, that could be very handy. Spider Ball, there are very few checks that hard require it due to the fact that we are very, the community has a lot of ways to work around it, but some of them are exceedingly difficult, and you really don't want to have to worry about doing them sometimes. It looks like, even though he just got Spider Ball, it looks like he is not electing to go back to and get Dynamo. Or is he? And it looks like he's checking main right now, just to see what's inside. Alright, so looks like Forsaken Angel's just going back to clean up town while he can, which is probably a good idea. It's never a good idea to leave an item that you on the board when you know it's there, especially when it's something like Plasma Beam. Although it does look like he is going to go check Root Cave first. Though you might think, Arbor Chamber. And though you might think, wait, hang on a second, that's a Plasma Beam at the top first. Why does it need that? We don't really feel like walking through that particular door, so we've learned to get around it, as Interslice attempted to do early on in the seed, I believe, but jumped down. This trick, it's an out-of-bounds trick. It's probably the easiest out-of-bounds trick in the game, and also probably the only one you are likely to see within Randomizer, as it's a very, very fast trick. Unfortunately, it looks like he's having a bit of trouble here. Oh, looks like he's just given up and he's just decided to go grab Plasma first. I can understand. It looks like Interslice has elected to go back and check Dynamo now that he has Spider Ball, I imagine. If this is something important, this could change the tides of the race right here. Yeah. Forsaken Angel looks like he's going to go get the artifact and forget Crash Site. It's useful. And Air Slice is going to get Wave Beam. Oh boy, that's big. And I don't know what's going to be complained about in the post-race interview. This heat has been very interesting so far. There's been a lot of back and forth between the two racers. Yeah, it's really hard to underestimate how important all the beams are. I mean, for starters, you need all of them to finish the game anyways. So for starters, you just flat need all of them, and also, they just block access to a lot of the game. Wave Beam, in vanilla elevators, I would say it's probably the most important, but in random elevators, I would say Ice Beam is more important, but Wave Beam is still very, very important. You need it for pretty much the entirety of late Magmore, most of late Phendrana, the entirety of Mines. So, Interslice has a lot of checks that just got opened up to him. And looks like he is about to get his first energy tank. Or wait, never mind, his second energy tank, sorry. Yeah, it is odd that Mars have gone so far with very few energy tanks. I imagine this might be making some of them a bit nervous. As Forsaken Angel is, he is heading into Magmore with 0 energy tanks, and this Magmore isn't too dangerous of an area, contrary to what the music might think, but it's still got some stuff that can, if you get caught off guard, you might regret not saving at the entrance save point. Looks like Interslice is going off to check Tower of Light right here, which it makes sense now that he just got Wave Beam. Going to do a very simple exploit of the fact that that is an object right there that the devs didn't intend for you to stand up, but was going to do anyway, and he's going to get up to Tower of Light without even using Fireball, even though he has it. Now, I do believe he has enough missiles to do Tower of Light, get the Tower of Light check in the vanilla way if he wanted to, but it could be faster to just do the check by doing a variety of methods, such as a variety of scan dash. And it looks like Forsaken Angel was his first and second energy tank, so that should probably ease his heart rate a bit right now. Forsaken Angel is peeking through a gap in the tunnel to check what the item is in. I didn't see quite what it was, but it looks like it was not important. So, Interslice looks like he is electing to do the dashes to get up Tower of Light, and let's see what he has up here. A very exciting missile. Well done, Interslice. Very deserved. Forsaken Angels look like he is going to go check the Twin Fires elevator. Phendrana drifts north. That could be... I'd imagine he's hoping for Wave to be somewhere in here, since he can do a lot of the early Phendrana checks as he has Plasma. But unfortunately, he does not know that Wave Beam is far behind him, and he is in for a nasty surprise. Inner Slice, it looks like, is finally leaving Chozo Ruins after spending quite a long time here. I imagine he's heading off to pick up Plasma. Looks like a visor right there. All 4 visors. That's handy. Thermal visor is probably the most useless major item in the game. It can save some time on Thardis and the final boss, but as far as actual checks, due to the fact that it only allows you to see things, doesn't enable or disable them, there's nothing that really hard requires it. Pretty much, it's a very easy check to just learn where all the thermal conduits are anyways, and just hit them manually with Wave Beam. And he is going to check Ice Ruins East. Inner Slice is looks like he's attempting to try again on his attempt at doing the Arbor Chamber out of bounds, this time with bombs, which makes it... Oh no. Oh boy, that's twice in a row. I feel bad for you, man. Forsaken Angel, determining that it's not just random pieces of collision the devs place to make our mark more difficult that we can stand on. No, those things you sent to kills, yeah, we can stand on them too. Quite a nice trick to learn because it saves you from having to do a quite long sequence of parkour to drop down an icicle over there. Alright. Into Slice, for all his effort to get up there to Arbor Chamber, is rewarded with an energy tank. Welcome to Randomizer, how can we help you? And Forsaken Angel is about to get very upset. Oh wait, never mind. Chandrona Canyon has an artifact, they probably knew that. He is going to... Fortunately, he messed up the jump, I believe it's an R jump to get up to that platform, but fortunately he was able to get back up and is right around to try again. Let's see if he gets it this time. And there we go. Unfortunately, he can't really continue much further into Vendrana without Wave Beam, so I imagine he's probably going to go check the Ice Temple next and be thoroughly disappointed at the lack of Wave Beam. Aww. Interslice actually has all 4 beams right now. I think aside from Phazon Suit, he is probably in go mode right now. All he has left is Phazon Suit, which is required for the final boss. Inner Slice attempting yet another method of frigate climb. Seems like every week someone brings in a new method of doing frigate climb. He is rewarded with missile and access to an elevator for his troubles. And it looks like he is about to go on a drastically different routing decision than Forsaken Angel has, which is always interesting. Oh wait, never mind that. I believe that is where Forsaken Angel went. He's going to Magmore too. Forsaken Angel is doing a bit of a clever trick to combine the 2 cutscenes into one. It just saves a few... It's not anything major, but it saves, like, a second or two, so no point in not doing it. And now, Forsaken Angel is going to have a bit of a question. Is he going to remember not to softlock himself here? Because all vanilla beam rooms have one-way doors with the beam that you normally get from them on the inside. So, will he remember that because wave beam isn't in here? And it looks like he will. I really could not see because the stream is extremely blurry on my end what the item is. So it could be anything in there. If anyone in chat is good at deciphering the color of single pixels, please inform the rest of us in the comments because your incredible talents seem to be needed. And Forsaken Angel, it looks like he is going to have to leave Phendrana for now and head off in other lands in pursuit of Wave Beam. So far, the random elevators this seat have not been anything too weird. We're still seeing the pretty standard early game areas. Pretty much, they've got early Magmore, they've got early Chozo, and early towns. So, random elevators haven't changed too much so far. But there is always room for change. Who knows? Maybe Phazon Suit is in Phazon Mines, and maybe we've got vanilla Phazon Suit, and our runners have to figure out how to get all the way over there. Imagine if it's in vanilla Phazon Suit, and both of the Phazon elevators are in Great Tree Hall, so you have to go through Frigate. That would be a fun seed. The seed's been looking pretty fast so far, but while Phazon Suit's still not in play, anything is possible. And it looks like we will actually get to see what is in Chapel of the Elders, because Interslice, whose stream is not a large pile of pixels, is looking to head into that room. No offense to Forsaken Angel, but yeah, the stream quality is not great, but he is still racing, and that is what matters. I think I am going to go switch the audio to Interslice. Forsaken Angel has had the audio for long enough. Unfortunately, it looks like I missed what was in Chapel of the Elders. But given that he's not fighting Sheikos right now, I'm guessing it isn't important. Not Phazon Suit. Interest unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be going on a bit of a backtrack right now. And unfortunately, I'm guessing he's probably going to be heading all the way, probably going to have to head all the way back to Dynamo to get what he needs. Meanwhile, Interslice, he has everything he needs except for Phazon suit. He just needs to take out our Big Angry Rocks friend before his last artifact and find the Edgy suit. Ooh, and Aerslice looks like he's using a slope jump to get there. Not even jumping on the Shigos to torment them. Very impressive. Didn't know that was a thing. Metroid Prime is just... It's such an intricate game, and there's just so many quirks of physics in it that I feel like I learn something new. I learn something new every single time I watch or commentate one of these stream games. It's always a blast. I just rewatch the VOD afterwards and just look at what both runners did that I didn't know was possible. Also worth noting is that Boost Ball is still... the run still assumes the runners have Boost Ball. We know Boost Ball is somewhere early on, but none of them have it. As, bombs were Boost Ball locked. So that means that Boost Ball is theoretically something early. There's quite a few places I could guess, but considering the one place I haven't really gone is I would probably have to guess it's the transport access, the ice chamber next to the Thardus elevator that has a plasma thing, considering I don't believe Ice Beam or Plasma Beam were bomb locked, and nor was Spider Ball, but I might be iffy on that. But if I had to guess, that's the one big check that they haven't done that doesn't require bombs that was available so early on. But who knows if I'm right? Maybe I'm just forgetting something. Don't think it's on Flagra because Flagra normally requires bombs, but who knows what Flagra has? Flagra's always special that way. Slice does not have Ice Beam, but he does have X-Ray Visor, so he can check what's in that item. What's in that Obsidian Bat. Like, yeah, that's one of the, that's a not fun item in there. You can have some very not fun experience with that. Aerslice is doing a very nice dash to get up Observatory. That is not an easy dash, and he is doing another one to get across in. That one's not quite as difficult, but it can still be quite tricky. I imagine mostly just because of the pressure that if you fail it, you have to go all the way back down. Aerslice is about to come up to Control Tower, and I imagine he is probably going to be very careful in attempting to not trigger the pirate fight up here, as that just tends to waste a lot of time, and we're not exactly fond of wasting time over here. And even though he is Plasma Beam, he is elected to say, no, I am not following your walls. I will shoot this missile anyway. I will shoot this explosive anyway and knock down this tower. Oh, and it looks like Forsaken Angel is heading back to is heading into Phendrana to check transport access, and I imagine other areas of Lake Phendrana. Doesn't look like he can head too far. And I was incorrect, but super missiles. That could change things. I do think both our runners checked the main plaza tree nub. So I don't believe that Boost Ball is there. But that is still something to keep in mind, and that does give Forsaken Angel at least something that you can use to his advantage. As long as Phazon Suit's still in play, anything can happen. Very nice dash to get up there and slice. And I imagine he's heading up to transport access to get the... And he has super missiles now as well. And looks like he's heading off to fight some rocks. That looks good. And if you're curious why Forsaken Angel did not go off to fight rocks right now, he does not have waving, he can't get through this door. So, that's why. There's a lot of door checks right now. And before, let's see what's in quarantine mod. Gravity suit. Saw the suit icon there for a second. That was... Ooh, that might be fast. That could be big. No, we... Frigate's now in play, boys. Yep. And you will now see why speedrunners do not like Thardus. He takes a long time. Fortunately, our runners do have... fortunately, Interslice does have Plasma Beam. And by the way, it looks like Forsaken Angel is heading off to fight Flagra. It's the wrong Chozo checkmate. But for some odd reason, Thardus is weak to Plasma Beam. He takes double damage to it, in addition to the fact that Plasma Beam is also the strongest beam in the game. A lot of the bosses in Metroid Prime and Echoes have very odd weaknesses. Like, the big one, for example, is Ridley's Phase 1, which is vulnerable to Boost Ball for some reason. I theorize this stuff was done for debugging purposes, so developers could speed up the fights that they didn't want to play through over and over, but I'm not the dev. I don't know the reason. So, you can speed Thardus up quite significantly with power bombs, but I think Interslice is electing to save his power bombs since he does not have that many. Kind of interesting, we've got parallel bosses going on right now. Forsaken Angel is doing a pretty standard Flogger skip, as you don't actually need to be in the bombs to activate their hitbox, unlike every other bomb slot in the game. It's just a regular hitbox that you can hit with bombs, and because of that, you can just jump over to them, which saves a lot of time on a pretty tedious fight. At times. Unfortunately, this does mean you spend a lot more time watching Flagra flail about angrily, and it can mean it can hit you immediately once the cutscene's over, which can be a bit unfair. Interslice looks like he's just going to powerbomb the remainder of Thardus, which is pretty good. So far, a pretty clean Thardus. Oh, and it looks like we lost Forsaken Angel's stream for a bit. That's not good. And Inner Slice got his final artifact and is now just searching for Phazon suit. Second Angel stream looks like he's not having a good time. I'm gonna go take a look at his stream off the restream, see if it's an issue with just the restream, or if he's just yeah, or if his stream in general is just having issues. Oh, never mind. Looks like he's back, and for all his hard work on Flagra, he was rewarded with a missile. Sounds like Flagra. Inner Slice is really just searching for Phazon suit at this point, so he's clearing out late Fendrana. Inner Slice is looking like he is about to check Ghost, and he still doesn't know where Wave Beam is, which is very unfortunate. You checked the wrong one. Inner Slice doing a very nice dash to get all the way across that room without any issues. Ghost Forsaken Angel has both Super Missiles and Extra Visor. The Ghost fight shouldn't be too hard, but we also know it doesn't have Wave Beam on it. But could have Phazon suit. That would certainly lead to an interesting turn of events. This is in the Inner Slice stream. This is an example of a place that normally requires grappling, but we can get around it anyways. But sometimes it's just more helpful to get to just do it normally if you have grapple beam. Not required. I think he did one of the earlier checks without it, but it's still nice to have. And Forsaken Angel was rewarded with another missile. He is not having a good race right now. I mean, I can't really blame him. It's only one check that didn't have Wave Beam. The odds were not high, but unfortunately, the odds went against him anyway. Fortunately, Inner Slice has missed a dash twice at this point to get across this room. There we go. It's generally faster to go into Gravity Chamber from the reverse end, but this point, who knows? I think that's a beam combo? Ah, yes, our validator right here. We've got Flamethrower in the house, boys. Inner Slice has officially won this run. Congratulations. No, not actually. Flamethrower, for those who don't know, is it's the meme item of Prime 1, even more than Thermal Visor. The beam combos are situational but effective, but Flamethrower just tends to be... You can only get... It's very situational, it only provides a smallish DPS boost over Plasma Beam, and it just consumes way more missiles than is efficient. There is one very minor use case for it, but considering they already have super missiles, it's not going to be in play. I'm still searching for one of these seats where Flamethrower useful is in. I hold out hope. And Air Slice has cleared out pretty much the entirety of Phendrana at this point, and still no Phazon suit. It's really just a mystery of where it is. And it looks like Forsaken Angel has finally figured out is going the correct action to get his wave beam back. Probably not going to be in a very good mood when he finds it. At this point, the runners are so far apart that anything could happen. The artist is right next to Artifact Temple, so yeah, pretty much whoever finds Phazon suit first could be the winner. Air Slice still comfortably has the edges. He has all 6 artifacts, but Phazon suit is a cruel mistress. Now the real question for Forsaken is, where is he going to go next? Because he has quite a lot of options open to him. Looks like he's going to check Late Chozo, which makes sense. He is in the area and he wasn't able to do it before. And we do not know. And it looks like Inner Slice is also heading back to check Late Chozo. Our runners could be converging here after a bit. Oh, never mind, that was an energy tank. I thought that was a missile earlier. Oh well. Oh, never mind. It looks like Inner Slice is going towards the Hive-Mac elevator, which I think was Phazon Mines. Or he could be going for Flagra. Yep. Mines it is! Oh, never mind, this is Magmore. Apparently I can't read chat. This is a different area of Magmore since I've been earlier, so there are some checks that can be done. Slice being bullied by the pirates a little bit, but he's doing his job. Oh, it looks like our runner's about to high-five right here. Slice just found an elevator to Late Chozo, and Forsaken Angel has just made his way to Late Chozo. Really curious where Boost Ball is, because that is still not in play. And the game assumes they have it. I think Forsaken Angel would have found it, considering how thorough he's been so far, but I don't know. I am very curious what the Seed intended them to do. Runners, peers after all this time, have finally come back together and are Pretty much neck and neck at this point, aside from the fact that Slice has Stardust down. And all three beep combos. Not that it changes much, but still. Just like going for the save. Who knows? Maybe he's planning on doing something risky, or just resetting back there if this place doesn't pay off. And we have mines, which he is electing not to go to. Interesting. Maybe he just wants to go check plasma processing. Just clear up all the loose ends. Yep, looks like he's heading off to plasma processing. Second Angel looks like he is clearing out early Chozo a little bit. It's an interesting routing decision. Unfortunately, we know it's the wrong decision, but I can't say I really fault him. It's always easier to make routing decisions when you're commentating. Slice is not actually checking plasma processing. Interesting. Yeah, frigate. Oh yeah, never mind, he doesn't have boost ball, that's probably why. Yeah. But yeah, frigate honestly seems like it makes sense considering he's not going mines. He does have all the items to do it vanilla, so that would seem to be a logical thing. It looks like Forsaken Angel is doing Tower of Light the vanilla way by just shooting a bunch of missiles and then checking with the cutscene. Can't exactly say I blame him, especially since we know what's up there and we know that doing the dash would just be a waste of time. Looks like he's just clearing out early mines for now. He has quite the slew of energy tanks in him compared to Forsaken Angel. The health imbalance is very severe. I am still really curious where Boost Ball is. Is it expected then to have him 4 bombs? Also, I'm more curious about Boost Ball than Phazon Suit. Phazon Suit, yeah, there's only one check in the game it can't be in. And that, yeah, so... We're going to be having a long cleanup here. Oh, and it looks like Slice found an elevator to Lower Great Tree Hall, so it looks like he's attempting reverse Forget, which is it's quite a bit faster than doing Forget Forward because you don't have to bother with all the thermal conduits. And he does have all the items required to get all the checks in Forget, so it will be relatively painless for him, if just detour that will send him pretty far out of the way. Sick Angel has finally found his gravity suit, and it looks like he is heading off to do his rocks. Rocks, part of a nutritious breakfast. Yeah, game. Tell Forsaken Angel to use Boost Ball to roll out of the way. I'm sure that will make him feel better about not having Boost Ball right now. And we have Boost Ball. That was cruel. Oh, looks like Slice has elected to travel all the way back through Forget now that he has Boost Ball, and just so we can check Upper Great Tree Hall. Oh boy, that is not some fun RNG. Alright, so let me get this straight. The routing expected you to go all the way to Quarantine Monitor to get Gravity Suit, then go all the way back to Forget just to get Boost Ball, and then all the way back to Talon just to get bombs. Thankfully, our speedrunners know tricks to skip these things, because that is very cruel, Seed. That is cruel. I think the real question at this point is Interslice going to go back to do Flagra at this point? Because that is the one that's still pretty big hole in his routing so far. We as the viewers obviously know there's nothing on Flagra, but he doesn't. And I imagine that is probably weighing on his routing quite a bit right now. Sick Angel looks like he is finally caught up in artifact count with Interslice right now. Unfortunately, Interslice has done so many more checks than him that it is... I would say he has a pretty big lead right now, unless Forsaken Angel decides... Because I imagine Forsaken Angel will probably be checking the rest of Fendrana at this point. And we already know Phazon Suit's not there. So, I think that pretty much just leaves Late Talon and Mines for where Phazon Suit is. But our runners have pretty much cleared everything else at this point. That being said, Interslice could still elect to go fight Flagra. And that could change everything. And as you can see right now, Interslice is having fun in the best room in the game, Life Grove Tunnel. Very well designed boost ball half pipe. Thought that was Phase on suit for a second, but it was just my cold dead heart to not seeing Phase on suit. Yeah, Life Grove makes sense considering there aren't really any elevators to mines in the area. Wow, 2 nothings. Life Grove's really rubbing it in. Air Slice doing a very fun jump that skips having to fight all the ghosts to get out of Life Grove, and now he gets to go back through Life Grove Tunnel a second time. Isn't this fun? Fortunately, it didn't give him too much grief this time. But yeah, at this point, Phase on suit pretty much has to be in mind unless it's right here. Speak of a Phase on suit, and nope, it's still not there. Slice knows this one pretty much has to be mine, as I believe he has checked all of the other elevators at this point. So he is pretty much going to be clearing mines from the top down, I imagine. He has every other item in the game, so no checks are off limits. Except for Mining Tunnel, but that's the one place Phase on suit can't be. Ooh, that's a very interesting jump to get up to the upper part of main quarry early. But second try. Wait. Remind me why they decided to make the one beam that requires very specific aiming be the one that's a scatter shot that can completely miss the conduits. Isn't this fun? Yes, Razor, there are only 6 artifacts in this seed, and the other 6 artifacts were replaced with nothings. Although, at this rate, it might as well not make a difference, because Air Slice is getting pretty close to getting the last items. Another nothing. I see. Fortunately, I don't think it would have made much of a difference if this seed was 6 or 12 artifacts. So we're running into all of the nothings. Weren't too many early on, but they've been really showing up in the late game. Now, coming up, Air Slice, I imagine, will be abusing a trick that is found in all of the big pirate AI, which is just walk to the left. Before they can do anything, just walk to the left. They like to get a good look in your eye before they do it, and as the root and honor, the honorable Space Warrior we are going to attempt to stab him in the back for the entire time, and we will not give him a straight look in the eye. I know, we're terribly rude to genetically enhanced abominations. This AI quirk is present on all of the big pirates. It's present on the Phase Only, it's present on Elite Pirates, and it's even present on Omega Pirate. It is a bit tricky to use on Omega Pirate, but you can do it if you really need to. And unfortunately, it is looking like Omega Pirate might end up being in play in this siege, which would be very unfortunate. That's probably going to be the last check Inner Slice does before. Very clean first ore processing climb jump on from Air Slice. Now comes the tricky one, in my opinion. Very nice. And you can just use Grapple Beam to skip the last jump. I think Air Slice has entered the point where he's collecting missiles not because they're useful, but just because he wants to grab all the missiles just so he can be annoyed at the seed later. And his completion percentage. Because it's an interesting curve of how many missiles you have versus how many you grab. Like, up to 40 missiles, yeah, you're probably going to grab that missile if it's nothing ridiculous. 8 missiles, I mean, if you don't have to go your way, you'll probably grab it. Like, until 100, yeah, you're probably not going to grab that missile. But once you get past a certain point, you are grabbing every missile just so you can be annoyed. And just like finding another nothing. I imagine he's probably like gotten excited at seeing the suit icon quite a few times and then disappointed. No, it's a nothing. Imagine that's happened quite a few times in his head. Another example of our steadfast refusal to look at pirates in the eye. It looks like Inner Slice is heading off to check Phazon Processing Center before he heads up back into Lower Mines. Worth taking into account that you need Boost Ball if you want to go into lower. The logic assumes you have Boost Ball if you want to go into Lower Mines, but suppose it doesn't really make a difference since since all of them had the items they needed to go through Omega Pirate anyway, but could theoretically make save some time if they find Phazon suit early on in Lower Mines. Oh, I think Inner Slice just forgot to check Phazon Processing Center. Oh no, that could come back to bite him. Oh, I think we found it! I think we have our Phazon suit, and I can stop saying that word every 5 seconds while coming up with increasingly creative ways to say we need to find Phazon suit. Because we have it! Air Slice. Oh, he's out of power bombs. Oh no. Finally found it, and he's out of power bombs. Oh, because he peaked with X-ray earlier. I guess I just missed it in between switching between chat and the commentary stream. And it looks like he found some power. So, Inner Slice is looking is in definite go mode at this point, and at this point is just heading back. Is going to just be heading back to Talon to finish off the final bosses. It is unfortunate that we had a it was a very dry mines aside from Phazon suit. So Rose didn't really have much of a reason to come here up until then. And Phazon suit is precisely past the point of no return in mines where you need boost ball, so so if you don't have boost ball, you would need to go all the way back around through Omega Pirate to get out. That is not nice, Seed. I don't think this was strictly an awful seed, but in terms of vanilla logic, it was definitely cruel. Because of tricks, it's not that bad. It's just both of the runners neglected going to mines for a very long time, and that cost them dearly. Behold, very exciting elevator cutscenes. It's like Inner Slice is just routing his way back to Talon. Interesting, he seems to be going through Magmore. I don't know if there's a Talon elevator in Magmore. Probably is. It can be very difficult to keep track of all the elevators and their locations, so props to runners for remembering where each of the elevators lead where, because random elevators, while it's fun, it can be very tricky. This heat hasn't been too bad in terms of random elevators. Stuff was pretty vanilla in the early game, and while Mines was a bit out of the way, nothing was really too out of the ordinary, but still, it can be difficult to remember where everything leads. Here, so let's just using the grapple point for the plasma puzzle, just to style on the puzzle. Yeah. Well, this has certainly taken a slice a while back. I can't really fault him for much of his routing, aside from the early mistake of not checking hints. I mean, there are certainly mistakes we can say he made in retrospect once we're commentating, but we don't know where the items are, and he doesn't know where the items are. So, I mean, it's honestly just kind of bad luck that Phazon Suit ended up in pretty much the last place he checked. So, unfortunate, but not really avoidable. It looks like Forsaken is finally about to find his boost ball. finally getting the item that he was supposed to have at the start of the seed. And from here, it's probably going to be less exciting than the rest of the race, because in this one there isn't really too much randomizer shenanigans going on. It's mostly vanilla Prime at this point. However, that does mean the end of Prime tends to be a lot more streamlined and optimized in randomizer races than the rest of the race. Just because you have to go through it every time, it means runners will put in the effort towards mastering a lot more of the individual aspects of the Impact Crater movement and the Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime Essence fight than they will the rest of the game. Not to say they don't put in serious effort for the rest of the game. They do. It's a lot of work. But Impact Crater tends to give an emphasis just because of how important it is. Airslice is about to head into the Ridley fight, which there's certainly a few interesting things about it for those of you who have not seen this before. First phase of Ridley is very irritating, so we would like to remove it if we can. Fortunately, the devs left in a way for us to basically remove the first phase of Ridley. It's like I said earlier, Ridley's weak to boost ball. You think like, oh, that doesn't sound like too big of a deal. She just takes damage from it. Like, I mean, how much damage can boost ball do? Answer is 50,000 per frame. It does quite a large amount of damage. And so, well, when Ridley lands, I imagine he's going to be in for a nasty surprise. Ooh. Yep, and there goes Ridley's health bar. It is possible to hit Ridley with Boost Ball while he's still flying, but it can be pretty RNG dependent and dependent on some luck. But it is pretty tricky. And another quirky thing about the Ridley fight is Ridley's mouth is one of the very few things that cannot be just hit with a manual lock-on, because while he is raising up to charge, his hand will actually raise up to block his mouth. And so you have to manually run to snipe, which Angel did on only the one time Ridley actually charged. That was a very clean Ridley fight. Well done. Well done. Wish I got those more often. Second Angel seems to mostly be following in Inner Slice's shoes at this point. Mostly following the same routing, checking Frigate, and then probably going to be heading off to Mines after this. Not like there's much less to check. Upcoming is going to be in Impact Crater skip I meant. Oh wait, never mind. He's going for the. Oh, this is an alternate method. I haven't seen this one before. Very interesting. But yeah, you can climb most of the Samdal object. And of course, oh, fortunately he got to the top before the Metroid ruined it. Actually, though, does he have main power bombs? I don't think he does. So that could cause some minor issues with Metroids, but probably won't make too big of a time loss. So upcoming is Metroid Prime, the first half of the final boss file, and by far the more complicated of the two. So how it works is there's 4 separate rooms this fight will take place in, and each fight is split into separate phases, each phase marked by a beam. And you can only marked by a color. You can only damage Prime with that beam. And in the first phase, he will he will do 1 phase of Power Beam and 1 phase of Wave Beam in either order. Next one, he will do Power Wave and Ice, and third room, he'll do Power Wave, Ice, and Plasma, and in the fourth room, he will just switch between beams whenever he wants. So, this fight demands that you basically master the aspects of all 4 beams, and you can use all of them to their potential. Or, you can exploit some things with the charge, and you can do damage in some phase and have it carry over to other phases. Because each phase is indicated ended by a charge, but if you will notice, Prime doesn't switch beams until shortly after the charge ends, which gives you a window to do some damage with this charge. To do some damage with your current beam, which can be very helpful, first for just saving time, but also for getting more access for the more powerful stuff. Things like super missiles, ice spreader, and just plasma beam and ice beam in general can do quite a lot of damage to Prime right here. Prime is a very complex fight. There's a lot of stuff involved, like manipulating Prime's AI, getting it locked in a loop, and even just, you can even hit Prime's face while it's charging in a very precise snipe, but it doesn't look like Airslide is going for those. And he just did a phase skip by using Ice Spreader on it at the precise moment, which is what I was talking about, damaging the nest to the head of time. Because Ice Spreader and Super Missiles actually do enough damage to skip an entire phase. Ice Spreader especially because, despite what you may think, Metroid Prime is actually a Metroid. And because of that, it actually takes 1.5 damage from all ice-related attacks, which is something I always found interesting. That is technically Metroid Prime's weakness. Yeah. I imagine it was more due to just balancing out the beams, because Ice Beam can be very difficult to hit Metroid Prime with normally, but it also adds a tiny little bit of flavor, and I like it. And it looks like Inner Slice is abusing all of his extra missiles that he's gathered throughout the race and using Wave Buster on Metroid Prime. Wave Buster is probably the second least useful of all the ones. It has a few niche use cases, like dealing with Cloak Drone and to being able to damage Flagra normally. It's overall not too useful, mostly just because it consumes a ton of missiles, but if you have a ton of missiles, why not? It's faster than nothing. And what else were you going to use those missiles for? Here, so let's doing another phase skip right here. It looks like Forsaken Angel is actually skipping to the lower half of mines right here. I don't know, maybe he's confident the upper half of mines doesn't have anything. Or maybe he's just completely assumed that this seed is out to troll him. Either way is a pretty good guess. As you can see, Air Slice is in what we refer to as Chaos phase right now. Prime kind of does whatever it wants at this point. It can charge whenever it wants, it can switch beams whenever it wants, and when it's on low health, it can just, its movement speed is speed up by a lot. Fortunately, this Super Missile should be the end of it, and we are on to the second phase of Metroid Prime. The one that is, less interesting. And let's see, will Interslice be going for the music? And he is skipping music by skipping cutscene. Now behold, this very engaging fight, where for the first 30 seconds you can't do anything. So, how Metroid Prime Essence works is that it is completely invincible normally. You can't do anything except until after some point where, right on cue, it will drop a pool of Phazon. At which point you will step in it and use your Phazon suit to gain the secret final beam power-up, the Phazon Beam, which you can damage Metroid Prime with. And because we don't like this fight taking so long, speedrunners have figured out that if you briefly step out of the pool, you have a few windows where you can fire without consuming the pool. And this can speed up the fight a lot by conserving the pool, and also you can do it by skipping actions of Prime thing, so it will get to placing down your next pool quite a bit faster. Unfortunately, Inner Slice is going so fast in this fight that, or at least running into things so much that I'm having trouble explaining it. What happened is that normally every time Metroid Prime skips visor, or switches visors, it will drop a pool. However, if it is right next to the wreckage of the exoskeleton, it will not drop a pool, and that just happened again. Wow. Inner Slice just got pool skipped twice. That's mean. But yeah, that is pretty much the entirety of Metroid Prime fight. It is the only reason we have to pick up Phazon Suit, because otherwise it's only needed for one check. But because of Metroid Prime, every seed needs Phazon Suit. And it is also pretty much the only reason most runners will bother to pick up Thermal Visor, as it does help speed things up being able to see it in this phase. Although you can, unlike Omega Pirate, you can damage Metroid Prime without the requisite visors. Omega Pirate just flat out will not show up without X-Ray Visor. So... Metroid Prime will spawn Metroids as the fight goes on, but you can just dispatch them with power bombs pretty easily, and they tend to not be too big of a nuisance. Although, Inner Slice might run out of power bombs if he's extremely unlucky, which it looks like he is not. We have a winner. So, pretty soon, Inner Slice will be coming on for his post-race interview, where he gets to tell us all about how terrible this seed was. Oh, Looks like technical issues from Brother might have prevented Inner Slice from being automatically invited to the chat. I am going to see if I can get him on anyways. Oh, never mind, he's here. Well, looks like someone got it. He's in the setup channel, so he should be on shortly.
Hello.
Congratulations!
Thank you. That was a pretty long seed.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
It was pretty easy up until I needed to find a Phazon suit there.
Yeah.
That was a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, that was not great.
Yeah. I think what with Boost Ball being in Frigate, that means you either had to do Frigate and get Boost Ball, or you would have had to gone all the way through Omega Pirate to get out once you got Phazon suit.
Also worth considering the with the Boost Ball location, Morph Ball pumps are technically locked behind Boost Ball. It expected you to go get Grapple Beam in Gathering Hole, then go back to I hear you have a very enthusiastic dog in the background, but
Yeah, sorry about that.
no problem. I've got one too. They tend to do that. But expect you to get Grapple Beam Gathering Hall, then go all the way over to Quarantine Monitor to get Gravity Suit, then go all the way into the Frigate Elevator to get Boost Ball, then go all the way back to Chozo just to get bombs.
Yeah. I can't remember. I know some stuff is skips boost ball. That might just be main plaza though. Yeah, I guess that one is not in logic then, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't really matter, but very interesting thinking about what the intended logic was, which was somehow even more cruel than what that phase on suit location was.
Oh yeah, that would have thrown you all around.
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping it wasn't Flagra.
Yeah, no. Forsaken Angel ended up checking Flagra, and it was just 2 missiles.
When did he do that?
He was actually doing it right around the same time you were fighting Thardus.
Oh, okay.
This was a really interesting race to spectate over, because the two of you were neck and neck for a very short time, with the one of the two of you passing by each other, and the other one then catching up. It was very interesting. Like, you would think, forgetting hints set you back like a while for early on, but then you caught up really quickly.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just not thinking. Just walked out, and then I walked out with 5, and I realized like a minute later I had to go back again.
Yeah.
Looks like Forsaken Angel is about to find Phase on suit right now.
Yep. He's probably not too happy about all this.
Yeah. Oh, those two nothing items in Life Grove.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could feel that. You ran into a lot of nothings.
yeah. Not till the end of the game too, when I was actually
Yeah.
looking for Phase on suit.
Yep. So, any parts of the seed that you like enjoyed or anything? Was your or was it just all terrible?
It was an okay seed. It's just it basically made you check the entire game for Phase on suit.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got the artifacts pretty early.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You
Besides
probably
Phase on
spent like
suit,
you probably spent like half the game with all your artifacts.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much all the items too. I mean, my
Yeah.
boost I got kind of late, but everything else I had pretty early.
Yeah. There was also that wave beam.
Yeah, I was really glad I went back and checked
Yeah,
Dynamo.
Forsaken Angel actually forgot to didn't check that, and he went through and cleared pretty much the entirety of early Fendrana before he went back and checked that, and then before he even checked Flagra before that. So
Oh no.
that was not a fun day for him.
Yeah. Well, luckily there's not too much. Like you can't get too far without wave beam, so.
Yeah, unlike Phase on suit.
Yeah, which can literally be anywhere in the whole game.
Yeah.
I was worried that it would be like because I dipped into Magmor a little bit, but then I just decided to go get my artifacts in Fendrana and check
Yeah.
Fendrana for maybe Phazon would be there. And I was really scared that like I missed it back in Magmor or something, but
Yeah.
no, I went back. Didn't find it.
Yep.
There were a
Nope.
ton of E tanks too, though. Like
Yeah.
10 by the end of the game.
Yeah. I think you hit the point where you weren't collecting items because they were useful. You were collecting items because you just wanted to show how ridiculous this seed was.
Pretty much. I think I found like maybe 12 out of the 14.
Yeah.
And I like there were 2 I didn't pick up like in Vault because it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious what route Forsaken Angel did here.
He honestly you two honestly made pretty similar routing decisions. The really big change was that he did not check wave beam when you did,
Oh,
and that changed pretty much everything.
yeah.
Aside from that, basically, after that, he went and cleared out Chozo. There was actually a point where you two were high-fiving the late Chozo.
Oh,
But after that, he went to go check Thardus, and then he cleared out Fendrana's Edge, and then basically the rest of the map until he went through Frigate, then did Life Grove, and Phase on Mines, as you did.
okay.
You two made pretty similar decisions. It was mostly just the decision to check Wave Beam that decided the seed.
Yeah. I thought there'd be something in what is that room at the top of Root Cave? Arbor Chamber, I think.
Yeah,
I thought there'd be something there because it gives you grapple and space jump and plasma beam like really early. So
yeah. I saw like the determination, like you were going for that hard, and then
yeah,
you fell down twice.
that was bad. You know,
Yeah,
the first time I didn't have bombs, so I was kind of scared to do it because you can get stuck there pretty easily if you don't have bombs.
yeah. I remember Pyro got soft locked in a race a few weeks ago with doing that.
Yeah, so I was like, once I failed it the first time without bombs, I was just like, I'll just come back later.
Yeah.
Not worth the risk.
Yep. And it looks like Forsaken Angel is just heading over for Ridley for his fight with Space Dragon. You had a really good fight with Ridley.
Yeah, I don't think he charged me once, or maybe he did, but I think I got a snipe in.
Yeah, you got a snipe on that. That was clean.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, you had pretty much polar opposite Ridley's and Essence's.
Yeah,
Ridley
that
went
essence, yeah.
Yeah, you got pool skip twice in a row. That's just mean.
Twice in a row, like really early in the fight too.
Yeah. To be fair, better to get pool skipped early than late, because late you have to deal with Metroids.
Yeah, that's right.
Also worth considering that I think Weakest Link is also participating in this race. He's just not streaming.
Oh no,
So-
I think he's not. I don't think he's in the race, is he?
Yeah. No, never mind. He's just not streaming. Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had some SRL difficulties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much everyone had difficulties with SRL. I remember I had some last week. It just I remember it said I was banned or something. It was weird. I joined the chat fine this time, but I don't know. Last week it was being weird. I was almost gonna participate in this race, but someone needed to commentate, and so hey, I could do it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It was a bit lonely with just me.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways to say whoever finds Phazon is going to win this.
Do you know how long I was in go mode besides Phazon suit? Because it felt like probably like 45 minutes.
That seems about accurate.
Yeah. Every single item check, I was just praying for it to be Phazon suit so I could be over with it.
Yeah.
That was a good snipe.
Yeah, that was a good snipe.
It's especially like impressive considering he's playing on a keyboard.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah, chat. If you ever see Forsaken Angel doing anything impressive, remember he's playing this on a keyboard and mouse, which is
Not
not
even a mouse,
easy.
just a keyboard.
Oh yeah. Some people, a lot of people use GameCube controls, as far as I know. Then there are just the mad lads.
Yeah.
He's tried controllers. He just he prefers keyboard for some reason. We're not sure why, but no one's going to question anyone who voluntarily uses keyboard to race Metroid Prime.
He plays really good for having a
Yeah.
having no analog input.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Out of curiosity, what controller do you use?
I just use a GameCube controller with the May Flash Wii U adapter.
Makes sense. I use a Steam controller.
Oh, really? How's that for Prime?
I like it too much. The buttons in the back are actually really nice because I have them mapped to scan visor, so then I can just press them while walking forward into elevators, and it helps like optimize that stuff. Probably not a big deal, but I like it. I know Viapron uses a Nintendo Switch controller. I think a Switch Pro controller.
Okay.
Yeah. So lots of people have their preferences. And apparently for some people this preference is keyboard.
Yeah, for some reason.
Somehow. So... At this point, mostly just Prime again. Same general thing as what happened when Air Slice went in. Basically, just bunch of beams, switching beams, stuff like that. Nothing like it. And just Prime doing whatever he wants in the last phase.
Yeah, having all the beam combos was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. I remember, I just saw like you even just pulled out Wave Buster because you could.
Yeah. I was kind of a little disappointed I didn't have enough missiles for Flamethrower at the end, but...
Yeah. I've been hoping one of these weeklies will get Flamethrower useful. One of these weeks.
I'm glad to see Forsaken Angel picked it up, because it wasn't really, like, on the way.
Yeah. After a certain point in the seed, you are picking things up to spite the seed.
Yeah.
Not to beat the seed. Yeah. At this point, there's not really much left to say.
Yep. Standard Prime
Yeah.
bosses.
Yep, standard Impact Crater. Already explained everything. Not really much else to say. Already done a lot of stuff on the review. So I guess we can just marvel at how pixelated Forsaken Angel's stream is.
Yep, it's Mosaic, all right.
Yeah, yeah. The restream is somehow even worse. I remember when he checked Hole of the or Chapel of the Elders. I just said, I have no idea what that item was in there.
I think it was a missile.
Yeah, I was like, unfortunately, I am not an expert in reading single pixels. If any in chat is, I admire your talent. And because at that point he didn't have wave beam, so it could have been something important. We had no idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he went all the way to Fendrana with that wave beam.
Yeah,
That's
so
bad. There's a trick to get out of that room with that wave beam, but that's terrible.
yeah.
So I think next week we should have the new rule set in place.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I
Yeah.
think most of the changes are to just random elevators, but
Yeah, there were some other tricks they were considering adding too,
yeah.
and cutting out Sun Chamber.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely understand considering some of the weeklies have been basically prime examples of why people hate Flogger in play.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that week where it had super missiles on it, and when Ice Beam was in labs,
Oh, I
or in
remember
Lab
that one.
Hydra. Yeah, that week was special.
It makes it interesting a little bit
Yeah.
to laugh at the runners.
Looks like we're almost done with this phase of with Chaos phase of Exile, and then we get to move on to the Grand Excitement.
The pool skip phase.
Yep. Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna take a screenshot of what the restream quality of Forsaken Angel stream looks like at some point, just so everyone can understand what I'm trying to commentate over. I'm gonna post it in the Discord, just so you can all see how it can be difficult to see.
Oh no, Essence.
Essence being essence. I think this might have actually been the first time the weeklies went over 2 hours. I mean, they've been pretty consistently not great aside from last week, but I don't think they've ever been this bad.
Yeah, even that one with the fire required was only like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was mostly just because Ice Beam is so critical to the rest of the game. This one, it was just
You had to search
Spider
everything.
Spireball was Phase on Suit was main.
Yeah. Did he get all the Metroids? I can't tell.
I think he did. Otherwise, one of them would have been annoying him by this point.
Did he pick up the Powerbomb expansion in Frigate?
The Powerbomb expansion.
This is in Biohazard Containment? Because I noticed
I
he
don't
only
know.
has two.
Yeah, I know. I don't think either of you got main power bombs.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Wonder where it is in the credits.
Oh, I forgot to check that. Because I was thinking I got everything, but then, yeah, I forgot about that.
Alright, and we have both races finished at this point.